Welcome back to another video. In this video, we are going to study SwiftUI binding. So I already created a new file and name it as binding playground. So in the previous video, we studied how we can utilize state in SwiftUI. So binding is like it tells the system that the property has a read and write access to a value, but it does not has the ownership. So the only difference between state and binding is ownership. So let's see how we can utilize binding and how we can work with it. So I will start with a simple state. uh, let's just use private to emphasize that this is only or this only binding playground has the ownership for this state. And let's just name it as maybe background color. This is of type color with the default value of red. And let's just wrap this in a VStack. And instead of text, let's just have maybe let's just have an edge tag of frame of width 200 and a height of 200, and then let's just give a background of the background color so that we have a box on the screen. So yeah, now we have our state and we have our box on the screen. So yeah, so let's just have a second view. You can actually create a new SwiftUI file, but for the sake of this tutorial, let's just have a second view so you can also learn how to create a second view or how to create views of your own. So let's just name it as maybe custom button view. Let's conform to view protocol and have body in here. So yeah, let's just have maybe a button in here that says change color. And now we can use this view inside our parent or main view, and we should have a button on screen. Let's just give this button maybe a style, or not the border shape but the button style, bordered prominent, and we can actually tap on this button. So what we want now is whenever we tap on this button, we want to change the color of this view. So for this we have to provide this custom button view our background. So let's just have a background in here of type color. And since this is a struct and it doesn't have any initializer, so we have to provide our value when we initialize it. We can just pass our property in here, and whenever we tap on the button, let's just check if, or maybe let's just change the color and check if it's red. Then maybe we can use green color, and if it's already green, or we can use red. So we are just toggling between red and green color in here. So as soon as we write this code, we have this error that says that we cannot. Okay, so let's just first correct this because it's background and not background color. And now we should have the actual error that says that this view is immutable, or this struct is immutable. And we already know this from the previous video that we cannot change values in a struct because they are not mutable. So we only option is to have mark this as a state, because state then allows the struct to change, but we do not want this view to have the ownership, because this parent state should have, or this parent view should have this view as it's already has. So what we want is we want this view to be marked with as binding. So now what this binding allows us to do, it actually allows us to read the value like we are reading, we are checking if the background is red, and then it also allows us to write the value back to it. And once you simply write this variable name, you only pass the value, a copy of the variable. You do not pass the reference to it. So for the reference, we have to use the dollar sign. And now our state is provided to this custom button view as a binding. Now if I tap on change color, I should be able to change the color. So this is how binding works. Binding, it is just like it's a connection between a view that actually owns the property and the second view that only wants to read and write it and doesn't want to own or manage the property. So this is what binding is, and I can just write a simple comment in here: difference between state and binding is ownership. So that's it for this video. Same as state binding is a very important concept in SwiftUI, and the only reason we studied both of these very early in this series is because they are required or they are used with other SwiftUI control. So if you have anything, you can leave a comment. See you in the next video.